I took a picture of one of my hats that I had, posted it on Instagram. The picture I took got 2 likes. And in my mind, something told me if those two people that just saw that hat bought that hat, that could have been like a $30 profit for me. It was then that I said, how the heck do I grow a following so that I can sell something?
Hey everyone, I'm Burton and welcome to PropStream Pros, the podcast where we dive into the lives of real estate professionals who've made it. In each episode, we'll explore how they got started, challenges they faced, and the strategies that helped them succeed, so that you can learn from their journey and apply those insights to your own path. Whether you're just getting started or already building a portfolio, there's something here for everyone. So make sure to subscribe, follow, and join us as we talk to professionals who've made their own success.
On this episode of PropStream Pros, Burton sits down with Ed Stulak to explore the power of personal branding in real estate. From creating content that converts to leveraging social media, Ed shares how authenticity and consistency can turn online exposure into real-world opportunities.
What if I told you one Instagram post could completely change your real estate career? Our guest today, Ed Stulak, is proof that your personal brand can become one of your biggest business assets. Today's a realtor, team leader, author, and one of real estate's leading voices on social media. But earlier in his career, he was ready to quit. Instead, he made one decision. He invested in himself. That choice transformed his business from selling fewer than a dozen homes a year to building a thriving real estate team and even landing a 180-unit development opportunity through Instagram. In this episode, Ed shares how to build a personal brand that creates real opportunities and how authentic relationships still win, even in the age of AI. Welcome to the show, Ed.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. You know, Ed, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't say your last name because usually my name gets butchered. It's Burton. I hear Brandon, Brian. I hear all sorts of different B names. How do you pronounce your last name, if you don't mind me asking?
Ed Stulak.
Stulak. I love that. Where's that from?
From Slovakia, Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe. Are you from Slovakia?
So born in Jersey, Jersey boy. But
Oh,
my
okay.
whole family is out from Slovakia, Czechoslovakia back then. So my roots are planted deep over there, but I'm a Jersey boy.
I love that it hasn't changed. You're still keeping that with you, strong, and that's really what I think America is all about, right? That diversity, everyone coming from different cultures, and that's what makes this nation really
Yes, sir.
big. And what and we're in our 250th anniversary, so
I
talk
know.
about that, right? That's amazing. But Ed, I love to have our audience learn more about you. You know, you're a great human being. For those that currently follow you, and for those that are tuning in for the first time and getting to we'll be getting to know you in this episode. I really believe you have a lot to give to those in the real estate space, or just to those in general. So let's dive into your profession. I understand that you're you're in a real estate, so you're a real estate professional. You're also a coach to others in real estate, and you're also an author. So let's start with the real estate professional part. What is it that you do for the real estate space, and how long have you been doing it?
Been selling real estate as a real estate agent for the past 10 years now, since early 2016, I would say. Dove
Wow.
into it because college was not doing well for me. So I didn't want to become the studious doctor that my parents kind of pushed me towards. So I got into real estate instead. Been selling since then. I sell in Jersey. I run a team called Orbis Group. We're a small team. I'll call it North Jersey area, but we scatter all around. And that's the nutshell answer of what it is that I do as a realtor.
That's amazing. So you've been doing it for, it looks like now about a decade.
Yeah.
Has it been fun this whole time?
Not the whole time.
Let's talk about that. Like, for those that are just starting in real estate, or for those that are seasoned in real estate that might be laughing or smiling as you said that. You don't mind sharing some tough moments in your real estate past? Like what was a tough moment that you learned something very valuable from? Do you mind sharing?
Oh, well, I would say just the perseverance. After year
Mm.
3, I felt like I was ready to give up and just hang the hat and, I don't know, go back to school and study something else because it just wasn't working for me. I spent a lot of money, spent a lot of time, energy, focus, and it seemed like nothing was moving forward for me in this real estate business. So that's usually a very common point for a lot of realtors to get to and say, you know what, year 2, year 3, year 4, I'm going to go ahead and either move on with my life elsewhere or just be a little bit more determined and get through it. And I'm so happy I did because my year was year three. I'm like, man, screw this. I'm done. And then year four, year five, I got an opportunity of a lifetime to run
Mm.
a big project that changed my whole career going forward. So I'm sure we can talk about that too. But it was then that made me realize, hold on, maybe I should give it a shot a little bit longer and see how it goes. And I'm
I
very
love that.
happy that I did.
Well, I'm happy because here we are today having this conversation.
That's right.
Let me ask you this. Year three, when you were going through those feelings, was it a mental thing that you were facing, or was it more of a data thing? Like, did you actually see the metrics going in the direction, or was it just 3 years in? Is there something else for me? Like, what was it actually in your case? Was it more okay? The data is showing I'm not making any movement, or I feel like I'm not making any movement. Which one
Both.
was it?
Both. Oh,
Both.
both.
Mm.
I felt like no progress was being made. I felt like it was not the direction I wanted to go in, and I saw statistically it wasn't going anywhere either. So like, what's the point? What am I going to just keep doing this and making, I don't know, 40, 50, $60,000 a year? I feel like there's a lot more. What am I missing? Why is no one
Mm.
showing me how to do it? And if I do need someone to teach me, I have to pay for it. I don't have money. What do I do? It's a round table of, damn, I don't know. I feel like I'm moving forward on a hamster wheel and not getting anywhere. So what's the point? And that makes me feel a different way, which I'm sure people listening, maybe the early rookies, could feel the same type of feeling. And that's fine to feel it. Just know if you continue to feel it, you're going to get to a point where you hit a fork in the road, either stay or go. And I was ready to go. Instead, I chose to stay, and I'm very happy I did because I did figure out my systems. I invested a little bit of that money that I wasn't making, but I found it, and I put it into coaching. I put it into the right systems. I put it into people that are helping me to move forward. So from that point on, I don't want to say it skyrocketed, but I also don't want to say that it did not sky. It did, for me to a whole nother level. I went from selling 8 to 9, maybe 10 houses a year to now, maybe 50 plus a year. So like something changed. It's possible. Just don't give up.
I love that. Great advice. I have two questions that come to mind right off the bat. Do you believe at that time the mindset, because we talked about the feeling part and the metric part, right? The data part that you were seeing, and both were obviously heading in a direction. Do you feel like both fed into each other? That like once you started seeing the metrics, the mindset kind of shifted into the half glass full mindset, and then that just kind of spiraled into where it ended in 20, in on the third year?
Of course, it's like going to the gym 3 times a week and not seeing a muscle. And now all of a sudden, week 8, you're like, oh, there it is. Right? There's that ab that I've been working so dang hard on. Like, okay, maybe I should keep this up. Like, of
I
course,
love that.
that's, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's working. Let's go. Let's go. But it's okay.
Okay.
There's going to be days where you have your cheat days, and right, that ab disappears for a second. Whoa,
Mm.
hold on. Where'd it go? I start burying through your fat. You're like, come on, let me find it again. But yeah, that's kind of the progress of life. You got to keep going and then get the sale and get another and get now 3 at a time and now get 5 and then all of a sudden lose 3. Ooh, now lose another. Ooh, that's a deep pain. You don't want to feel that again. How do you get 10 so that when you do lose 3, it's okay? Or if you have 1 and you lose 1, it's not okay. So get more. How do you get more? Find your systems and so on and so forth. But
I love that. Okay, so great. The mindset, I can feel it, like the resilience that you've endured and the positivity. You're like just everything you said in the last few moments definitely is more of that half glass full mindset, which is very, very important in our space and for those that are listening. The second question that comes into mind, you had very little, you mentioned. At that time, yet you invested in yourself by pouring into getting a coach. What was the reasoning? I mean, most people in that scenario where they don't have much really wouldn't have done that. I would say more than half that are listening, and myself included, would have not taken that step. What was it that made you say, okay, you know what? While I do have very little, I'm willing to invest into myself by getting a coach. What did you see? What did you feel? Or what did you know at that time that made you make that decision?
I think feeling pain is something that needs to be experienced in order to know that is the time to make the pivot. It could be an emotional pain, mental pain, whatever. It's a pain. And you don't want to feel that pain no longer. So you got to make a change. Mine was simply I wasn't moving forward. There was no progress being made with sales. I wasn't getting the traction I wanted, the lead generation, the lead conversion, the focus, the expansion, the exposure, the advertising, marketing. Like, why am I not? What's wrong with me? That's what people feel, and I still feel that till today. My God, imposter syndrome is a very normal thing. So I feel it from time to time, and that's fine. Just don't let it kill you, let it grow you. So I got to
Mm.
a point where that pain was really not pretty. I walked into my broker's office. I remember like it was yesterday. Walked into my broker's office. I said, "Hey, do you have a coach?" Just like that. And he's like, "I do." I'm like, can I connect with them? They're like, what do you want the coach for? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just seeing it all over social media. People are saying, get mentorship, get coaching. And I'm like, I think I should. I don't know. I know school didn't work for me. That was a different level of coaching and mentorship that I did not ask for. I didn't want that. My parents did. Now I'm asking for it in my own taste. I want to be tasting coaching, but for real estate, I think. So, like, can I connect with your coach? And he did. He said yes, connected me. And then about a week and a half so later, I get on a call with the coach. He interviews me, he talks to me, he asks me questions, and then he hits me with a $7,000 bill. He said, "This is what it's going to cost you for the remainder of the year." And at that point, I'm like, 7,000, I'm making barely that with a sale, which I'm not getting. So where do you expect me to get 7,000? And I was ready to just say no right there. And then I connected with one of his other coaches because he didn't have time for me. So he connected me to another gal. Her name is Kim. Kim gets on the phone with me. She talks to me, and then she says, I could do a payment plan and I'll reduce it to like 65 or so hundred. So now, okay, went from 7 to 65. But I'm like, you know what, Kim, I'm going to do something that I've never done before because if you want different results, you got to do different things. So I
Mm.
did. And I said, I don't know where I'm going to get the 6,500 from. I have like a closing coming up for 4,000. I'm going to ask my parents for the rest. I don't know. I'm going to try to figure it out, but like, I'll get it to you. Pretty sure I got it to her in a matter of 4 weeks or so because I sold something. I got money some. I don't know, but I had nothing in my account. So I gave it to her and I said, let's do this thing. Fast forward, that was 7 years ago or so, 6 or 7 years ago. I still have Kim. She is still in my back pocket, and I'm still working with her. She's helped me that much. So I'm very glad that I did something different to get a different result that I never thought I would get or accomplish. So my point to this story is sometimes you might not have it, but like to figure it out.
I love that. Yes, I
Yeah.
love that. And figuring it out, especially when it comes to investing in yourself, which is the key component there that I love. And I'm happy that you personally made that decision because fast forward, you're 10 years in, now you have dozens of employees, people that rely on you, people that you're pouring into, just like Kim poured into you. Now
Mhm.
you're pouring into others. And if you didn't make that decision 7 years ago,
That's
that
right.
wouldn't be the case, right? So that's what like sends shivers up my spine a little bit is that these key little things can have really big impacts you may not see until many, many, many years later. So thank you for sharing that. Now we're about providing value as well on this show. So let's talk about, you being, in real estate for over a decade now, I would say. Let's talk about building a team because we probably have some listeners right now that are doing a few deals that do want to scale and they are starting to realize they can't do it all for themselves. So, for someone who's a solopreneur right now, who's like, okay, I do need to give a little bit, give a little of that responsibility. And yes, for those that are listening, you're going to have to eventually do that. I know you want to do it all yourself, but trust me, it takes a village to get where you need to get to. So, Ed, I'm going to put you on the spot. What advice would you give to those that are just starting as a one-person team and getting to that next level when it comes to scaling? What's your best advice for them?
You're gonna have to wear all the hats in the beginning. Sorry to say. And if you don't like that, sorry, you're gonna have to in the beginning. You're gonna have to be the janitor. You're going to have to be the face. You're going to have to be the HR. You're going to have to be the marketing department. You're going to have to be the advertiser and the phone caller and the cold, everything that you probably don't want to. You're going to have to. Once you go through those pains, because there are pains associated with all of those hats, you're going to find which hat you fit best. And you like this hat because it feels right. It fits right. And I hate the accounting hat. I despise the janitorial hat. I despise the marketing hat. You'll find your hats that you don't like and it looks bad on you. Good. Get to that point because now you know which hats you need to delegate. And now, my accountant, I said accountant for a second. I hate accounting. I hate numbers. It's funny because I'm a realtor. I should like them. Nope. I don't like them. I got my accountant. I reached out to him, buddy of mine from high school, and his name is Mike. Um, I like his little thing. It's save cash with Bash. And so his last name is Bash. He's funny. So I reached out to Mike. I'm like, Mike, we went to school together. Can you do my accounting? It's like, sure. What do you need? I'm like, I don't know. Numbers, run them. I have no idea what to ask for. I don't know nothing about it. How much do you charge to like manage my books for the year? And then he gave me a price. And then I looked back. I said, how important is this delegation right now? Do I want to spend 20 hours getting my numbers together last minute when the taxes are due? Or should I delegate that to someone that knows how to minimize 20 hours into, I don't know, 10, and I'll pay them a nice little price. But for those extra 10 hours that I save, I can go make more money. So how do I delegate what I don't want to do? And there's a book that I read called 4 Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. He said, I'll read the book for you in a nutshell version. If you don't want to do something yourself, automate it. If you cannot automate it, delegate it. And if you cannot delegate it, eliminate it. That's the book. I took that philosophy and said, I don't want to do accounting. Can I automate it? Not really. Can I delegate it? Yes, I can. Great. Let me delegate it. Boom. Marketing. Do I like doing marketing? I love doing marketing. I'll do it all day long. Okay, cool. That's a hat Ed will wear. Does Ed want a cold call? Nope. Can I automate cold calling? I won't get the best results, but what else you got? Can I delegate cold calling? Yes, I can. Beautiful. I got a team. They're starting tomorrow. Do I want to go ahead and do, I don't know, for example, I don't know, like open houses, can I go ahead and do that? Sure, I don't want to. Can I automate it? Not really. Can I delegate it? I can. Or maybe sometimes I'll just eliminate it from one of my properties because I don't need to do it. Like you have to figure out what fits best, what do you want to do and what you don't. But the point is that if you do happen to delegate, and let's just say you don't have the money for it, get smart and creative with how you can delegate something like that. And let me give another example. For example, I like to wear suits. Okay, I'll just give an example of this, and
Nice.
the user, the listener can utilize this however you want to. But in the beginning, when I didn't have money for suits, which I know is part of my attire as a realtor, I got to dress up nice. Well, people will beg to differ. Some will, some won't. But I like to dress up nice. That's me. So I know that costs money. Now, do I have the money for a suit? No. Can I go ahead and get creative with getting a suit? Sure. How? So what I did, I had this one guy reach out to me. He was a tailor, and he said, "Hey, I want to make you a suit because all your, off the rack Macy's suits, they don't look good on you." That's what he told me. I'm like, "Wow, thank you." Then I said, "Okay, I'll meet with you." So we did. He shows me his whole books, his fabrics, his cloths, and then he hits me with a $3,000 bill.
Oh.
And I say, "Dude, thank you, but like I barely made that like this year, right? With my sales. This was earlier on, right? 7 years, 8 years ago." So instead, I told him, "How about you make me a suit for free, right? And I'll promote you and I'll get you 5 other sales that can bring you 3,000 each. So do you want 3,000 for me or 15,000?" Like it was so hard for him to say no to. So he immediately said yes to that. And that's been our partnership since. So I guess my point to that story is that for the solopreneur, get creative with how you can get collaborations like that, partnerships, get vendors to work with you, get assistants, get transaction coordinators, get assistants, whatever you need in that sense. Figure out a valuable asset to give them besides just monetary. It doesn't always have to be monetary. It could be something else. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. But that's my super long-winded answer that
No, no, very, very great answer. I mean, if I were to pull that apart, I think several things that you said were very key and very important. I love the whole, can it be automated? Can it be delegated? And, if not, then it needs to be eliminated. But
Mhm.
before that, you said something very important, and it's, I think, a very common mistake a lot of people go through when they start scaling or start trying to grow is that they grow too fast, and they don't know why. And then the company gets bloated, and all of a sudden your overhead is pretty high because you have salary you have to worry about and benefits, and the company's not producing. And what I love that you mentioned, which is a reality, is that before you even start hiring and growing, you need to know your reasons as to why. And I love that you mentioned go through all the pains, experience it, know where your strengths are, know where your weaknesses are. And once you identify those in each of those departments and within your company, then it's the automate, delegate, and eliminate.
But
And I love
yeah.
that. Very, very, very important that information that you just gave. And I love the creativity part. I love that you don't even go into the eliminate process right away. It's like, can I automate it? No. Can I delegate it to somebody? No. Before I go to eliminate, what can I do creatively? What creative way can I do that can come up with to
Mhm.
delegate? So I would call that the delegate 2.0 method,
I like
and
that.
then your eliminate, right? Because there
Mhm.
really isn't. I think you're right. Elimination should be the last thing you want to think about because there is a way. You just got to go find it. So
Man.
thank you, Ed. Very, very powerful stuff. Um, Social media. You mentioned that. I mean, you go on your social page right now, it is very dominant. Like one can read between the lines. You are really good when it comes to social media. As a matter of fact, you mean you're so good at it that you're even an author of an amazing book. I took the time to read it. It's called Expose Yourself. Very valuable information. So if you guys are listening in on this, I'll have my team put a link down below so you guys can get your copy. I highly encourage it. There's a lot of very key information there, and I love that you've included activities that the reader can engage with. So make sure you have a pen out as you're reading this book. So, Ed, let's talk about this book because I have a lot of really very powerful questions when it comes to the book. And again, don't want you to give out all of the recipe because I definitely want to make sure these guys read the book themselves. But, you know, you talk about viral trends in this book and how agents, real estate professionals should be aware of these viral trends, and when to maybe incorporate it or not to incorporate it. But how do you distinguish the lines between writing a viral trend for views versus creating content that actually converts a viewer into signed listing agreements or whatever they're doing in the real estate space?
Solid thought. And the answer, which I'm hoping is also solid, is that virality, I think it's almost going back to the concept of any exposure is good exposure, like bad publicity, good publicity, it's publicity.
Hmm.
When it comes to content creation, make it good, make it quality, right? But personally, I'm not in a headspace of Ed, time to get into the mode of creating content for leads versus Ed, let's get in the mode for creating content for fun. I only create content for fun. And if it turns into leads, cool, that's a bonus. But I'm a content creator, I'm a marketer. I expose myself. That's the whole point of the book. It's like I'm getting out there, I'm doing it myself. I'm not waiting for an article to talk about me. I'm not waiting for someone else to put me on a podcast, for example. I'm not waiting for anything. I'm going to do it myself. But what's the best way to do it? The best way to do it is just do something that is valuable to the world and you enjoy doing it and creating it. Like an artist creating a, like a portrait on a skateboard, for example. That's my buddy also, his name is Sebastian, and he created that, right? Like he loves doing it. It's fun. And from that, it turns into money because now I'm like, Bash, I want to buy one of your artworks. I want to invest into, I want to hang it in my office. I want to, it becomes a popular thing. So when it comes to content creation, I do it because I enjoy doing it, number one. Number two, I know it's going to get me exposure because of the value that it provides. Now, what value does it provide? Most of the time, I'm creating funny stuff, humorous, entertaining, things that will make someone pull aside for a second, get out of their reality and say, "Oh, that was funny," or like, "Wow, that is so share worthy," or "I'm gonna send it to my best friend," or you know what, that Ed, he's cool, he's funny, that made me laugh, that made me chuckle." That's value. And if I can do that and make your day in that little 2 second, 20 second, 30 second video that you watch, awesome. Let me do it again and again and again. So that's my premise with content creation. I'm not doing it for business.
Mm.
It happens to turn into business. So I think if you do it for business, you're going to treat it like a business, and eventually you're not going to have, a good time doing it because now it's a job. It's not a job for me. I can't wait to pull out the phone later on and create some content. I'm excited. And if it gets me leads, great. And if it doesn't, great. And I think that is maybe one of the secret variables to good content creation is just enjoy it. Enjoy it. It won't feel like a job.
I love that. And that's a very great answer because you're right. Sometimes I see real estate professionals, they see a trend, they feel like they need to chase it because the business requires them to get more viewership and whatnot. But like you said, that now falls into that box where you're doing it for business reason, not
Mhm.
doing it for your personal reasons. And so I truly believe that's a great answer. That creating content for personal reasons, for fun in this case, for because you want to is really going to be the converting, the reason that they convert to leads. I love that. And actually, your answer talked about something that's very dominant in the book itself. You talk about authenticity. But real estate can be ugly. It can be stressful, especially behind the scenes. Where is the line between being authentically like vulnerable online and oversharing to the point where like you may accidentally hurt your professional credibility?
Mm.
Um, what's your answer on that?
You want to be real, but you want to also walk a fine line because we're real estate professionals. So, like, cross the line sometimes a little bit, just because it's so unheard of. So when you do walk the fine line, which I would say 90% of the industry does, that's fine. But now you're 90% of the industry versus the 10% that's a little controversial, causes debates, causes you to raise an eyebrow, causes you to scratch your head and say, whoa, what? Why would he, she say that? Why would they, like, and I like to be that 10%. So I like to walk the fine line, but be careful with how far I cross it. So now I'm
Mm,
not getting into religion. I'm not getting into politics. I'm not getting into those aspects because I know that is far past the line.
mm,
I will get a little fun, a little raunchy, I'll curse from time to time because curse words, they cause attention to spark, right? Like, oh, that's different. Why would they? Some people like it, some don't. That's fine. But point is be careful, but also don't be careful. Like, cross the line a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot.
yeah.
And I know that some people probably don't want to hear that. Professionals don't want to hear that. I'm sorry, I'm speaking truth. So, the listeners choosing to listen to this. So
And
you're listening to us. This is my opinion.
I love it. And you know what? From what I observed over the last few years regarding social media and real estate professionals, I am seeing people get closer to that edge that you're referring to as content has become more personal. Heck, just the other day, I saw a real estate agent, I think out in the Northwest, who's really into like emo rock music. And
Mhm.
he's adapted that into his social media. He actually
Total.
does open houses on his social media while singing songs that are relatable to that audience. So again, social media and what real estate professions are doing to captivate the audience,
Hmm.
to convert them into leads has definitely changed. And I love that you understand that, and in this book, you're definitely sharing a lot of valuable
Yep.
information on how to do that just right. So my next question that I have For someone that's listening, if you were a brand spanking new agent entering, a very highly competitive market, especially today, with like zero budget and let's say zero followers, what does your 30-day content calendar look like to get your first inbound lead? Like, what would you do?
I would be super niche specific. So whatever town, city, area that you're in, focus like crazy on that area. Know everything about that area and then spit it out like a newscaster or whatever you want to call it. Be the local mayor of that area with the content that needs to be given to those that want to hear it. Like I'm in a town of 13,000 residents. I'm doing what I can to be considered like a local guy. So I'm creating all the content about the cafes. And here's four reasons why you should move to this area. Here's four reasons why you shouldn't move to this area. Here's things that you don't know about, secret spots of this area. Like all that type of content is what I would be pumping out to show the locals that I know everything about this area.
Hmm.
And people think of you as the go-to guy. So that would be my 30-day plan. That's super, I guess I don't want to say super simple. It's a big pill to swallow. I don't want to lie to you and say, "Oh yeah, just go and start creating content for the next few hours about all of that." Like you got to learn, you got to study, you got to meet some people, shake some hands, ask around. But there's ways to get that done. So I think I would choose that to really generate leads and business sooner than later. If I'm not looking to generate leads sooner than later and I'm just looking to get brand awareness up through the roof, I'm creating entertaining content. I'm creating stuff that is going to make the locals share my content. So maybe I add a little spice to it. Maybe I collaborate with some of the locals. Maybe I grab coffee like I did this morning with another agent in my area. Never met her before. I saw her on social media and I couldn't believe that I never connected with her or collaborated with her. The second I saw her stuff, immediately reached out to her and said, "Can we grab coffee?" And we did. This is actually the same coffee with her from this morning. Been drinking it since then because I said, "Let's connect and let's collaborate." Why aren't we doing that? You know? So I think that's my response to that is just do hyper local type of content. That's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I like that. And you kind of sprinkled in and maybe some advice in there that may actually be the answer to this next question I want to ask you
Okay.
because most agents actually treat social media like a digital billboard, right? Like they'll put their listing on there, maybe a few photos of it, and then that's it. It's very uniformed. I don't know if that's the appropriate word, but it's boring. It's like because
That's
me when I go on social media, someone said this to me a long time ago, and I remember we had a conversation after, and you gave a third avatar, but someone said to me when it comes to social media, you're either a producer or consumer. Right. And then we had a conversation. You're like, yeah, but you're also both because in order to be effective, you need to be both consumer and a producer. And I had this aha moment when we were having that conversation. So, but again, we're same point, producer, consumer, maybe even both. But most agents, when they post, they don't realize that aspect. And so most of the posts are boring. It's the listing price, a little bit of the property description, and then a few photos. So let me ask you this, Ed, because when you look at your stuff, it's fun. What are some key things that you would consider when it comes to a real estate post or a reel that you know is going to spark conversation or DMs rather than get what I call the passive double tap, which is like grandma going, "Ooh, good jobs, grandson."
that's right.
So like, what advice would you give to those to get more than that passive double tap?
Got to be valuable content. Whatever value looks like to the creator of that content. Is it educational? Is it entertaining? What is it? What is it? Like there's several aspects of quote unquote valuable. It could be emotional. Listen, there's so many social media accounts that are only talking about motivational things and sad things and like happy things and like that's an emotion and it's valuable to someone. Or there's those accounts that just have like the carousel type of posts where it's a paragraph and then you scroll it, it's another paragraph and then you scroll again, it's another paragraph. Like All right, maybe your horoscopes. Oh my God. Like that's value, right? Is it entertaining? Is it educational? Yeah, I would say educational in a little bit, but like that's value to the right avatar. So in my case, I'm making funny stuff. I want to really spark that emotion. I want someone to laugh and remember me and say thank you. I go to sleep and I watch stand-up comedians. I love that because it feels good. It feels great to laugh. It's the best medicine. They say it for a reason. It's a medicine. So I like to give that to others. So that's my source of value. To the next person, it could be education. So you got to figure out your own and then give that, you know?
I love it. Well, Ed, I have a few more questions, and then I'd like to kind of talk about like your past a little bit because I mean, you've shown me a lot so far. Half glass full mindset, your resilience, your go-getter type of behavior or characteristic, I should
Hmm.
say. Very impressed. But what I also love about you is you're very blunt and you just give it straightforward. So I'm gonna put you on the spot right now, okay?
Yeah.
What is one piece of conventional social media advice that's currently given right now to real estate professionals today that you think is absolute garbage and that is actually hurting their business?
Quality content. I would rather see an agent post 500 different pieces of content throughout the next 6 months versus the agent that invests a lot of time, energy, money into only 14 posts. But like each single one is like really quality and looks like a cinema, like a movie. I don't
Mm.
I only see 14 posts from that person, but I see 500 times of the other one. So you tell me, do you drive down the road and remember one billboard from that one random company? Or do you remember the billboard that is plastered everywhere?
Mm.
Tell me which one's more effective.
Ooh. Ooh. Great, great response. No, great, really, because again, most people are probably in that mindset of quality over quantity, but you're on the opposite side. You're like, no, 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 quality over quantity. And you gave a really good example of that. You're absolutely right. Like if you're driving down from like Orange County to LA County and you only have one billboard, what are the chances I'm going to remember you versus,
Well,
let's say In and Out, they have a billboard almost like whatever, right? So
and it could be the
I
best
like that.
ever. It could be the most creative, beautiful, colorful billboard ever. It could be as big as you want it to be. I'm not, I don't know. I might have not been in the mindset when I drove past it to remember your really pretty billboard. Been in a
Mm,
very emotional state. I might have been, oh my God, I'm on a time crunch. I got to go to a meeting. I got to go to a family party. I got to go to this event. I'm not even looking at it. But what are the odds for my mental capacity to open up a bit and bandwidth to minimize for me to take in the next billboard that I see? Because I see it 13 other times. Now I'll be like, oh,
mm.
there's that. All right, cool. Moving on. And then I see it again. There it is again. And then I'm driving. I'm like, this guy is everywhere. What are they doing? So I think that is the answer to this segment is that quality over quantity. I think that is the thing that is constantly being preached out there, which I'm very quantity versus quality. Throw it out there, see if it sticks. If it doesn't, great. You have another opportunity to recreate another one. Do it again. Go, go, go. You know?
I'm laughing, Ed, because I'm like picturing a team listening to this right now, marketing team listening to this, and they're just like erasing everything on their whiteboard. They're like, oh, they spent like the last 2 weeks making this elaborate little content, and just hearing what you said, they're probably like, dang, he has a point. It's just back to square one we go, guys. I love
Sorry,
that.
guys.
That's amazing. Well, you know what? This is the last question, and this I think is
Uh,
very important, especially to our space and where we're at today. AI tools, right? I mean, you have a lot of this generative AI now. It's making it very, and I mean very easy to automate a video. Heck, Ed, you've seen it. I've seen it. I'm seeing people like it's not even them; it's their AI avatar doing videos of them. So the video editing is being automated by AI. The content itself is being automated. The scripting and even the posting. What is it that what's one thing that you truly believe AI content cannot replicate, that agents must double down in our generation today to stay relevant over the next few years? What's your answer to that?
Personal touch. The
Mm.
personal touch, the personal handwritten letter, pen on paper, the video that I send with my phone, the door knock that I come, the gift basket that I send, the personal invitation to my cousin's birthday party, the like that stuff is just not going to be replaced. I don't think. Maybe, but I don't think it's ever going to be to a level. You see what I'm saying? Like, would a postcard that is just designed real quick and sent out to 500 people, does that work? Or does a personal card that says, "Hey, Burton, thank you for having me on the pot. I appreciate the conversation. I am so glad. I hope it's nice and warm in California." Like, if I'm having those personal things in there and you know it's coming from directly me, I don't know. I'm trying to say that in the best way possible, but the personal touch is so important that so many people are starting to neglect and strive away from because, oh, look how easy it is to do it with AI. If it's easy, everyone's going to do it. The harder it is, the less people are going to do it. And the hard thing is what I want to do because that is not going to be something that more people will do, and I will. So I will be the one doing the hard work, but in a smart way. And I think I will convert higher. I think I could be completely foolish for saying that, but I don't care. That's my philosophy. So the next person that hears that, they could be like, "Oh no, AI will do 5,000 times more than that." And maybe you're right. But I think that personal touch will be remembered so much deeper from that person that receives that touch.
So, Ed, throughout this entire conversation so far, lots of things again I'm getting from you. The half glass full mindset, the perseverance, the understanding what role to take, your strengths and your weaknesses. I want to time travel a few years before real estate.
Mm.
Um, for those that know your story, I'm again a huge fan. You have a hockey background.
Yeah.
You've played hockey, and I'm not talking about just like playing hockey like in your backyard, but you played hockey at a very high level, near professional level. And I'm sorry to bring that up because I know it didn't go as planned, but I'd like to talk to you about that. Do you believe that your your history, your experience, the things that you went through in your hockey past play a role in what you're doing today?
It did, for sure. The hockey player hat that I wore for a long, long time and still wear till today has taught me a lot about team team player. I'm learning how to communicate, learning a new something different off the, I don't know, on ice, off ice. Like it's a community. It's just different world, and it also teaches me when to completely remove every other hat that I wear in life when I step onto that ice, because that is my scapegoat, and it's amazing. I love it. It's my paradise. I put on my ice skates, I get on that ice, and I forget about the whole world that's behind me. And that's important.
I agree 100%. The reason I wanted to bring that up is earlier in our conversation, when you talked about, having to experience the things that you're not good at and then, automate, delegate, and then eliminate.
Yeah.
Um, when when you were saying that, I thought about the hockey pass, and the reason for that is because you can't do everything on a hockey team. You can't be, the guy up. I don't know positions, but you can't be the guy up at the front and then be the goaltender at the
That's
same
right.
time, right? Like you have to trust in others to do what they're extremely good at, whether that's again being a defender or being the guy that actually is in charge of making the goal or the guy that's actually preventing goals from happening. And so I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to bring it up because, you know, the whole reason PropStream Pros was even created is because I want to share value. And you've done nothing but that since the start of this conversation. But to remind everyone that, you know, your stories, your experiences, all the things that you have accumulated over time, all the, the wins and losses, if you will, play a vital role in what you're going to be doing in life, especially in the real estate space. So thank you for allowing me to bring that up, and thank you for sharing that. Um, you say you still play hockey today. How, for those that want to maybe line up against you or something, like where do you play? How do you play? Like, is it really on ice? Are you doing street hockey, or just you're a
Yeah.
purist? It has to be on ice only.
Ice hockey. Yeah, there's a little community around the corner. I play with a bunch of guys, and it's a men's league. We call it beer league in hockey. So we have some brews afterwards in the locker room, and we just, BS with one another. But it's a fun time. It's cool. It's fun, and it's business. Shoot, I've already sold 3 homes to some of the players on the team, and I'm working on more. So like it's cool. I branded and sponsored the team, so we got new jerseys with our logo on the corner. So it's like, I like that. It's fun. And I get to, really share a passion with another community that I can't share with everyone every day. So
Yeah.
I love that.
What I like about what you just mentioned right now is that, and I'm guilty of this. Sometimes we put aside our habits, our hobbies, I should say, the things that we love to do to pursue our businesses. Um, and I love that you still do what you're doing, and it led to, in this case, 3 deals. Sponsoring the team, brand awareness. So for those that are listening, if you've put aside your hobbies, you might want to reconsider, because there is a community out there for mostly every hobby, and that
Yes.
community could be your next seller or buyer. I love that you've
Yes.
done that. So.
Who do you connect with more when I'm a random person at a bar and let's just say we're at a networking event, happy hour, and I bump into you. I'm talking to you, Bert, and we're chatting, we're talking, and all of a sudden, like, we just cannot find anything in common. Like, how's the market? Or how's your business? Or like, give me more. The second that I feel like, oh, soccer? Dude, I love soccer. Oh my God, the change, the mood changes immediately, right? FIFA, you've been watching the World Cup. Oh my God, who's your team? Immediately, the report is like maximized to a whole nother level. So, I think if you do lean into your hobby, you will find your people that will help you expedite that rapport building at such a much rapid pace, and they will be comfortable with you, which means they'll converse with you, which means there's a better opportunity for you to do business with that person because they like you, they like what you say. So, yeah, hobby, lean into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Leading your hobbies, that could definitely lead into a new listing, a new investment property. That's a
Yeah.
very great, very good advice there. Um, did the social media come during hockey? Like, when did you start picking up being a social media master, I would say? Like, when did you go head in on the social media part? Was it during your hockey experience, or was it after?
Before, a little before. So call it 2010. I got onto Facebook and I was already on MySpace. I was dabbling with that stuff, but I didn't see anything of it until high school came around and I started posting on Instagram. And I remember this one specific instant where it changed my entire perspective, perception on social media. I was playing ice hockey. There you go. I was playing ice hockey with my buddy at his house. He has a pond right next door, and that pond was frozen. That happens in Jersey sometimes. I know it's not common in California, but it happens here. Pond froze, and we played hockey on it. So we took out the hockey net and all that stuff, and we were playing all day long. Fun time, being kids. I took a picture of one of my hats that I had. It was like a nice, cool little beanie, and I took a picture of it. I posted it on Instagram. The second I posted it, I don't know, a few hours later, I look back at my notifications, and back in 2010, 11, different Instagram looked very different.
Yes,
So
it did.
I had the filters and all that, but the picture I took got 2 likes. And in my mind, something told me, whoa, if those 2 people that just saw that hat bought that hat, that could have been like a $30 profit for me with $0 marketing.
Mm.
It was then that I said, how the heck do I grow a following so that I can sell something? It doesn't have to be hats, but it could be something. And now I'm like, all right, it's time to start building. And so I started growing my following and just like getting people and creating content and posting this, posting that. And I'm like, what gets more engagement? What gets this? What gets that? Started growing it. And I think it was college that I grew up to 8,700 followers organically, naturally, just connecting with people. And I'm like, 87, that's crazy. And then I started growing more, and then I found my spiel of my style, my voice, my brand, my personal brand. At that time, I didn't know what a personal brand was. I was just a entrepreneur. I just wanted to be something. And so I started posting more consistently and more precisely of what I want to talk about, which eventually got into real estate and social media. And then my following just took off like crazy, like a ski slope. It went upwards because now all of a sudden 8,700 that took me about 6 years to grow went to like 25,000 in a matter of a year because now I was very niche specific. So, and then it just started, growing that way.
I love that. Again, I can't comment enough the half glass full because most people would have seen 2 likes and like, what's that about? Like that's not enough. I don't have enough friends. I'm not popular. My content must be boring. But you
Right.
saw opportunity. You're like, hold on here. There's diamonds somewhere in here. And I love that. Now, 16 years of trial and error and tweaking and turning knobs here and there. You've, I would say, nearly mastered it, in my opinion. Great stuff. Really great stuff. When would you say out of the 16 years, when would you say you like peaked as a social media expert? And what would you say is the reason? Like what would you say makes you very proud of yourself? Again, all different levels of experts out here, but like in your case, 16 years, if you look back at it, would you say you're 11, you're 12, maybe this year, and why would be your reason? What would be my question to you?
I'm so far from an expert. Like it feels good to
Hmm.
know that I am doing something different than most. A proud moment, a proud year, a proud day. Tough to say. I think it's moments like this, getting on a podcast with a person that just genuinely enjoys what I have to say about the thing that I love to do. Like that's a good moment. That's a pat on the Ed's back. Like, dude, what you're doing is loved. Keep
Yeah.
doing it. Like it's not just, it doesn't matter if it reaches a million people. Make sure it reaches one right person. Make sure it reaches two right people. Make sure it reaches 20 right people. And when they acknowledge that and love you for it, you love on them back. And like those are proud moments. So maybe an article, like if there's an article on my wall here. It was I made some ridiculous TikTok dancing in my parents' closet. And that was the cover photo that they ended up choosing as the article to put in Realtor magazine, which is a very big magazine. And like they chose that. That was awesome. I'm like, that video, really? That's what reckon okay. So I don't mind it. I like it's more of like a reassurance. It's a yes, what you're doing works. And then of course there's days when they don't work. And I appreciate those too. Because I need to experience what a downfall feels so I can really love the up line, the upward trajectory of where it's gonna go next. I make a bad video. All right, we'll make a better one, Ed. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That one got bad views, get better ones, and so on and so forth. So did that answer?
Yeah, no, it answered a lot and it gave a lot of information as well. We had a conversation off air a while back, and you said something to me that I thought was very eye-opening. You said something about everyone has a brand, but not, I don't know, am I close to that? Can you finish that statement for me?
Everyone's got a brand, whether you like it or you don't. You got to learn how to expose it and get it in front of the right audience that you want to attract.
And that's very important because again, in our space, with 9 out of 10 people, even just in general, having a smartphone and jumping on social media, I truly believe this space does require you to be very aware of your brand, whether you're utilizing it or not. So I'd like to kind of talk about an experience that you had. I believe it was in 2023. We talked about how social media really kind of paid its dividends in 2023. Can you talk a little bit about that scenario in 2023 and how social media helped you?
Yeah. So we started off the podcast with talking about a little bit of it. So this is a nice
Yeah.
little circle back, right? A callback. And that is that my first 3 to 4 years of real estate were very discouraging. I thought eventually it was going to go upwards and work, and it just for some reason was not.
Mm.
Until the one thing I've been working on for so long, which was the social media side of things, the personal brand buildup, the exposure that I've worked on created for myself, finally seemed to kind of peek through the blinds. And it was with a DM that I got from this realtor, and her name was Bayla. I always give her love because without her, sorry, I don't think I would be where I am today. So I'm very appreciative of her. She reaches out to me with a DM and says, Ed, I got these guys that are doing some big project out in a town called Somerville, New Jersey. Do you know where that is? Now, as an entrepreneur, I'm going to say yes, regardless if I don't know or no. I said, of course I know where that is. As I'm Googling Somerville, right? Like, oh, okay. And so I say, yeah, of course I can help out. What's up? And so she essentially says, hey, can you meet us at this project on Thursday morning? Okay. Fast forward, a few days goes by, I meet her and these guys that are building this big 180 unit apartment complex. Now, at the time, I was selling just your single family home, your condo, townhouse, maybe a rental from time to time, but otherwise, a 4 story, 180 unit apartment complex? Excuse me? But I said, okay, sure. And I had to act the part like I knew what I was doing. And so I
Mm.
met them. I had my little folder. I came in there with a listing appointment thinking it's a single family home or something. They didn't warn me it was going to be a dirt site with a trailer in the middle of it all saying, hey, we're going to interview you for this project. But I put on my big boy pants. I said, let's go. I'm going to say yes to this regardless. If it turns out great, great. If it doesn't, great. At least now I know. So I go into that trailer. They sit me down. These developers, they are hardcore New York City developers. All right. Inside, I'm frightened like a little girl. On the outside, cool, calm, and collected. What's up? What do you guys got? Right.
Yeah.
And so we're going at it. They're interviewing me. They're asking me 21 questions. Ed, tell us about the demographic of this area. Ed, what is your marketing campaign going to look like? Ed, what do you think is going to be what's your absorption rate? And they asked me my absorption rate. Burton, I swear to God, when they asked me my absorption rate, immediately without hesitation, I said, 10%. And they looked at each other and they were like, okay, not bad. In my mind, I said, what the hell did I just say? 10%?
I was just gonna say the same. I was like,
What?
what's an absorption rate?
What did I just say 10% to? But I'm again cool, calm, collected because they obviously like that answer. So I'm like, and now let me tell you where I get 10% from, because that's a common question when I tell this story, which is not often. But they were like, why 10%? Because when I was in the music industry, which was a little bit, years before real estate, I was in the music industry for like a second. The booking fee was 10%. If you ever cold call and you have to call 100 people because 10% will actually convert. So my
Right.
mind, I'm like, 10% is a good number. I'm like, 10%? That's literally why I answer that. But I guess the story to this is that I got an actual deal from Instagram that changed my entire life, because that 180 unit turned into another several hundred over the years because of
Oh
turn.
wow.
And owners were looking to sell and move into the apartment complex. Tenants that were living in the apartment complex were ready for their next chapter of ownership. And I just went under contract last night with a tenant that has been there for 3 years. And now they're like, we want to buy something ourselves. And I just got them a deal yesterday. Like, it's so cool to know that I'm helping so
That's
many families move around. So, like, when someone tells me Instagram doesn't work, I'm like, boy, do I have a story for you. Like, let me tell you, you know?
yeah, that is definitely a story. And thank you for sharing that, because when you told me, I was like, 180 units, social media, that's insane. But again, you would have never experienced that if you would have never doubled down on, really studying social media, being authentic. I think that's the important part here, because they did interview everybody. They saw your authenticity. They saw just who you were. Now I get you were kind of frightened on the inside, but I'm going to be real with you. I think that's normal for everybody. think
Yes.
everybody that would have gone into that little um,
Uh,
developer
true.
mobile thingy, yeah, the trailer, I think they would have all experienced that.
Yeah.
But you knew you had value to bring, and you did. Fast forward, here we
And
are today.
you know what? I don't know which video it was that Bela said, "Ooh, that's the one that I'm always going to remember Ed for." I don't know which one it was. I really don't remember. And honestly, back to what I was saying before, I don't care which one it was because I'm posting so much. And that's what my quantity over quality is going to beat out everyone because I posted a lot. So I'm not going to ask her which video was it that made you think of me. No, you
Mm.
saw that one. You're going to see 1,000 more. Watch.
I
Think of
love it.
me.
Man, that's a good story, a great one. And again, kudos to you. Kudos to you for not walking away 7 years ago. Kudos for you for doubling down, really investing in yourself by getting Kim, your coach, learning, through experience, the ups and downs of and the do's and don'ts in social media. That obviously led to the 180 unit deal. But prior or even after, the team that you're building now, the brokerage, the pouring in, the book that I'm sure has inspired thousands, maybe hundreds, maybe even millions. Um, Amazing work, Ed, and that's all because you didn't give up. I love that. So my last question I want to ask you, and then I'll give you an open mic because I'm sure you have something to give to the audience as well. But I want to hear your advice to someone listening. What would you say to them to help them remain consistent when the momentum isn't there at the moment?
I'm gonna go back to my favorite artist in this world, which is Pablo Picasso. I like his, it's not even the artwork that I like. I like his persistency and his brand that he's built up for himself that remains hundreds of years later. Pablo said, good artists copy, great artists steal. Pablo stole his style from another artist. But the one thing that that other artist didn't have was a personal brand. It wasn't strong enough. And why is Pablo remembered? I don't know. Maybe it was one thing that he did that made him really shine through everyone else out there. I don't know what it was. I didn't live in that time. I'm just going off of books and what social media tells me. But Pablo said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." Now, taking that concept, when I ever get into a point where I hit writer's block, I get discouraged. I'm not interested in doing content. I look at what other artists are doing, I see what works, and then I go and steal it, but I do it in my own way. I know that sounds really like blunt. It's not stealing. It's not like I'm copying and like exactly. It's the it's the style, it's the concept that I'm stealing. For example, the other day I was watching a video of this kid. He owns a roofing company and he made a funny little video. It's like 16 seconds long of him putting some money down on the front of a door, knocking on that door, running away for a second, having the owner answer that door, look down, see the money, and then when they go to grab the money, the roofer comes back, grabs their hand, and says, "Hey, let me show you what's wrong with your roof." Funny, funny door knocking strategy, right? I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to steal that, but spit it out in real estate terms. I did
Mm.
the exact same thing 2 days ago. I filmed one with one of my colleagues. We did the same thing, put some money down, hid, and did the whole little skit. Grabbed her hand. I was like, "Hey, let me show you how much I can sell your house for." I stole that idea. I gave love to the roofer, right? And it was so fun to create. And I don't even know how many
Mm.
views I have on it now. I'm gonna check. We're gonna do a live check real quick.
Let's do it. Let's
It
do it.
has 15,000 views on Instagram, 25,000
What?
on YouTube. Let's see how YouTube is doing because yesterday I saw it was 25. Today it's got 26,000 views.
That's
So
amazing.
that's motivational. That's cool because I haven't been feeling like a content creator lately. I'm not gonna lie, and I needed to see do something fun, have fun with it again. And that was that. So like that took me out of my writer's block. That made me have fun
Yeah.
with it again. And now I posted it, and now people are talking about it a little bit, and it'll die down. but then I have to post again, right? And that's where the quantity over quality beats every single time. So I think good artists copy, great artists steal.
Yeah, I love that. And you're right. I mean, as they say, no thought is original, right?
Right.
And so very, and I'm guilty of that. Like there are tons of times I'll watch an actor or I'll listen to a song or I'll see something and be inspired because of
Mhm.
it. And then again, either mimic it in my way, or use my life, my experiences, and kind of mold it into something new. So good advice there. Ed, thank you so very much for joining our show. Before we let you go, I'd like to give you an open mic. So for anybody out there that's listening, what would you like to say to them?
What would I like to say to them? Go buy my book. Number one, read the book if you want to. It's not just for realtors, it's for everyone. Number two, don't worry about what people think of you when you go to be your authentic self online because you don't know who's watching, who knows who, and who knows what, and what opportunity can come of it. So go online, have fun, create content,
Mm,
post it, expose yourself, and truly cool opportunities will come of it. But have fun doing it because I never expect business to come from it, and somehow business always does. That's all I got.
I love that. I know that's I love that. I love that. So again, Ed, thank you so much for joining our show today. You gave tons of amazing advice and value to our audience, and thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for showing, our audience members that, you know, sometimes the experiences may be tough, but hang in there, and those experiences will definitely become your ammunition to your success. So thank you again for being here. How can people get a hold of you? Social media? Obviously, we saw that you have YouTube and
Yup.
Instagram. Do you have a website or any other besides the book, Expose Yourself? Any other ways people can get a hold of you?
You can find me everywhere online, all the social media platforms that you probably have downloaded on your phone. It's at Ed Stulak, EDSTULAK.
Awesome. I also know you're a public speaker. Are you speaking at any events soon that people can come see you at?
Working on a few. So 2026 kind of, I don't want to say ended for me. We always have little pop-ups that happen from time to time, but the first half of 2026 was quite busy. Definitely
Mm.
traveled all around the country and Canada, and so it took a little pause because now I got to get the real estate sales hat on and focus on the clients here because they're all
And
like,
the team.
generally speaking, yeah, exactly. So I got to work on that part, but no, 2027. I just got off the phone this morning with my assistant for that side of things, and she's going to start working on a lot of events for the 27. So I'm pumped for that.
Okay. Well, for those that are listening, make sure you follow Ed on social media and all of his other outlets. That way you can maybe meet him in person at one of his next speaking engagements. But thank you again very much. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to another episode of PropStream Pros. My name is Burton. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the PropStream Pros podcast. Subscribe for weekly insights and real strategies to help you close more deals. See you next time.